Now we all know any adventure bike will succeed when it comes to the tarmac, but when it comes to off-roading, rocks, and a bit rougher terrain, this is where it counts. So of course my emphasis will be towards dirt.
This thing definitely hauls, it has some power. I mean, the ergonomics are very, very comfortable, but this is all smooth stuff, you know? So I don't know how it's gonna do on the rocky stuff. So I'm gonna say that, dude, the ergonomics on this is amazing. KTM 790 is almost like a big giant dirt bike. Let's see how it does on the rockier stuff.
Now to be honest, I'm quite impressed with the KTM 790 Adventure. Then let me give you a quick story about my background to help understand what I was feeling while riding the KTM 790 Adventure. When I first started learning on two wheels, I started off on a dual sport, my KLX 250. Eventually my emphasis started to grow for more hard enduro trails, which I do okay in, but nowhere near as a skilled rider will do. Except in this point of time, I have not been on a big ADV bike in almost 2 years, since my emphasis was harder enduro trails and of course single track. So that is right, I am packing all of this weight for the very first time, getting used to the wider seat, and of course its balance due to the weight. And by far, a big bike feels much different than a smaller bike, or does it, when it comes to the KTM 790 Adventure.
KTM 790, man, this is one hell of a machine. The jumps, even the little jumps, I mean, they're not huge jumps, but even the little jumps are very plush. The rocks are a bit jagged. You know, you do feel it is amazing.
Now this area is called China Wall, out in Colorado. It has tons of tipping points, which of course is definitely felt on a big bike versus a small bike. Now I'm not really going to compare my two-stroke versus this big ADV bike. In fact, I might leave that for another video since I don't like my videos that long anyways. But I'll tell you now, China Wall is not a walk in the park for a big bike, and granted, it's been a few years that I've been on one.
Yeah, I would say right here. It looks big from over there, but when you get to it, it's like that. So believe it or not, unfortunately my GoPro messed up, but the KTM 790 did this no problem. It's crazy, all these rocky trails. You see?
The 790 Adventure, it's very hard to explain the kind of feeling this machine brings. But let's just say this, it's a big, giant dirt bike.
It's almost like cheating, right?
Essentially that, and the best way I can describe it. It's a giant dirt bike with amazing suspensions, handling, and of course, its down-low power delivery. Even with me riding around 20 PSIs, this piece of modern machinery, it'll allow me to maintain traction on some pretty soft, loose dirt. I'm not sure how exactly that happened, but the 790 Adventure definitely brings in some serious confidence. even with dual sport tires and 20 psi's. To give you guys an example, if my 2-stroke had 20 psi tires with dual sport, there is no way in this world would I have had this confidence in comparison to the 790 Adventure. Now when it comes to China Wall, most people would mostly bring a small bike to this area and not so much a big bike. It does have some pretty tough obstacles, and granted there was some that we did skip, but for the most part the KTM 790 glides over the technical stuff. Of course, you see what they can do with pros like Chris Birch or Paul Torres on his Tenere 700. But granted, most of us don't ride like the pros, and we are just some average Joes on 2 wheels trying to explore.
I mean, the ergonomics are very, very comfortable, but this is all smooth stuff, you know. But this is riding in high PSIs, and this thing honestly feels great. The suspensions are amazing. I mean, of course, you can't really compare it to a 2-stroke. Some rocky stuff. Yeah, you can't go as fast as a 2-stroke confidence-wise, but it'll definitely do it.
So in essence, this is just to demonstrate what an average rider feels like on the KTM 790 Adventure. Now lately I've been riding a few ADV bikes, including the 701 Enduro, if you even consider that an adventure bike, even up to the Tenere 700. But unfortunately, it was not on rocky terrain like China Wall. But if I had to recall my feedback, I have to say the 790 Adventure has slightly better suspensions versus the Tenere 700. Anyhow guys, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell button to follow my content, as there are other bikes I would love to compare the KTM 790 Adventure to, like the Tenere 700, CRF 300L, and the 701 Enduro. Anyhow, I'll catch you guys in my next video.